Hi, this is Gerard Leary. We were here last year starting off with drawing with Gerard. So it's been a while and here we are back again. This is a colored pencil drawing class, and because it's fall, there are a couple of subjects that we're going to do again this year that we did last year. First of all, I'm just going to show you what they are. This is a, I don't know if you can see that from above. This is a maple leaf, foliage maple leaf. So we're going to do that today, and I'll just show you a few more. Pumpkin. An apple. And then we're going to get ready for Christmas with this nice wreath. This is, a lot of people say, well, why don't you start with graphite pencil, you know, like a beginner's course. And we could do that, but this is just as easy. You can learn this. It's not very difficult. And we'll get into it in just a second, but I'll just tell you a couple of things that would help you out. I really can't, I don't endorse any particular product, but if you want to get colored pencil products, you can go online rather than go to stores. And if you just Google colored pencil supplies, it'll give you everything that you need. This type of paper, well, it's Blick. Let's see, are there 70 sheets to this? Yeah, 70 sheets. It just happens to be Blick. It's a product that is pretty economical. And then this is, I got this the other day. This is Blick. I think there are 48 pencils in it. A few bucks. I mean, I think you can buy everything for under $20. These are called gel sticks, and they're liquid white ink, and I'll show you how they work. And then there are erasers. Get any type of eraser that you like. You can get the pink erasers or these white erasers. They all work on what we're doing. Pencil sharpeners. This is a metal pencil sharpener. I have an electric pencil sharpener, but I like these because they're portable and they really get a fine point on the pencil, and they don't break the tips very often. Okay, and I'll just show you a couple more things. These are called blenders, and they're just cardboard. And once we get going, we'll go through it and how it all works. All right, we're going to try drawing this maple leaf. And I put in my own colors, but you can pick up a maple leaf. They should be in foliage. Let's see, today's the 16th. I'd say in about 2 weeks, maybe even sooner than that. So what I've done is an outlined, I don't know if that's showing up very well, in very light pencil, I've outlined this this maple leaf. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take a red pencil, do a little sharpening to it, and maple leaf has lobes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lobes are just sections of the leaf. And then they have a vein system. So the vein goes to the top, and then it branches out. I don't know if that's showing up very well. What I do is I draw the stem and the vein system first, and then I put in the ends of the lobe. So it comes out kind of in a symmetrical order. Sharpened pencils, really important. And a lot of people are used to holding a pencil this way. It's how you learned in grammar school. But you can hold a pencil any way you want, and you can control it. There's a lot more motion, range of motion, when you're farther away, and your fingers don't get cramped or hurt. So I'm just going to go around and put a little bit of red on the tips. Very light. Very lightly, I should say. And you can, I do it this way because it gives me the boundary a little bit clearer, because I drew the original outline in graphic pencil, and I did it very lightly because I want to I'm going to erase the outlines as much as I can. So there you're seeing just the kind of boundaries of the leaf itself. Now, I'm going to change pencils. Again, you know, I'll tell you places where you can go without really endorsing any particular product. I just happen to have Bics. I have all kinds of different products, but you could go to Target. They have good products. You can buy Crayola. They have colored pencils. Not very expensive. You don't have to spend a lot of money. All you need is the colored pencils, the paper, a couple of erasers, the blenders, and what else? Sharpener, a decent sharpener. So now we're just going to take some of this yellow, again, very lightly, an adverb, lightly. And we're going to put it over that red. This is going to be called layering. And layering and blending are a big part of colored pencil drawing. As you can see on this picture right here, you'll see the tips, and you'll see the blend of colors. And I'll explain a little bit scientifically about the colors. Maple leaves are green when they bud in the spring. And there's a process, I'm not going to get too Mr. Science on you, but there's a process called photosynthesis, where the sunlight is converted into food for the leaf. And that's why there's chlorophyll. As the days get shorter, the chlorophyll goes away, and underneath the leaf are these colors. It's usually yellow, orange, and red. And they're the secondary colors. They're underneath the layer of chlorophyll. Once the leaf falls and it's on the ground, it turns brown, and the leaf is dead. So this is it's the best time of year to draw leaves, when they're in their most brilliant color. And I think if you're going to draw a leaf, this is just my opinion, I like to draw a really vibrant color, because that really gives the leaf some justice of how beautiful they are. I just make this stuff as I go along. I mean, it's true, but I just make it as I go along. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take let's see if we're going to do it this, yeah. So this is also a Bic green. There's all kind of different colors for Bic pencils. So what I'm going to do is, first on the stem, very lightly, if you look at a stem, it's not all one color. There's a little bit of brown in there. There's some green. It really depends on how the process is going. Put a little light brown on there. And you can blend these colors too. kind of gives a nice realistic. I'm not too happy with that color green. I'm going to try something else. Might be too vibrant. At the end of the stem, there's a little angle that you can draw in. And then there's a different pressure that you can blend this all in. Try to stay in the lines, but if you don't, that's okay. Now on the bottom of the leaf, I'm just going to lightly color in. And I do circular motion, so it eliminates lines. You see how I'm holding the pencil at the top, and with very light pressure, I'm just circling. It's almost like an arc for this green. It's very light. Colored pencil, it's about layering, as I mentioned before, and blending. And it's really, really good to get in the habit when you first start drawing of just light pressure. Because you can always put on another layer, but you can't take it off. So light pressure is really, really good. So we're making progress. Now I'm going to introduce you to blender. Get a good blender. Okay, blender is the same way. There's a little orange on the tip of this blender, so if I just rub it, the pigment that's on the tip will transfer off, and then the tip will be clean. I was so clueless when I first started drawing that I thought you'd have to sharpen these things, and I ruined one of these things until someone told me that you just have to transfer the color. So now it's clean. So what we're going to do is very, very easily, light pressure, we're going to blend the stem. This is all about patience and taking your time. It's really therapeutic. And generally, I listen to music as we go along. And I listen to, I like classical music, but I also listen to jazz. And I think last year, when we were doing one lesson, we listened to Vivaldi. If you've never heard Vivaldi, I think we'll use it again. It's very relaxing music. So as you can see, this green is blending out. I'm going to make this transition a little bit better. It's a little bit too sharp. So I'm going to blend it out a little bit more. As you're drawing, your eye is going to become more focused. It's like your visual consciousness gets raised. And you start to see things that you may have not noticed before. Shadows, light, angles. Now that gives you an idea of where the chlorophyll, it's kind of being dissolved from the leaf itself, and that's why these other colors are showing up. But it ends up at the top of the stem. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow in there so you can see how these colors blend. It's not green, green, green. Just do you a little bit. against circular motion so there won't be any lines. If you do that and you get a nice blend, it's a lot more organic, it's a lot more natural. You know, if you start drawing and if you can set aside about 3 hours a week, you'll really see the improvement. Just like anything else you're learning new, golf, baking, whatever it is. If you set aside some time every week, shut off the television, and just try drawing. Put on some nice music. You realize that an hour might go into 2 hours if you really get into this stuff, which is great, and you'll see the improvement. The other thing that I suggest to all I teach at UMass, and I do some courses at the library, but I haven't taught at UMass since last year because they want me to do Zoom, and it just doesn't work doing this. I ask people to, once they finish their drawing, to sign it, date it, and put it on your refrigerator. And people say to me, why would I want to do that? And I said, well, when your children were growing up, isn't that what you did? And you do that so people who are just starting out drawing really get a sense of it. It's your exhibit in your house. And you'd be surprised at how many different people come into your house, neighbors, relatives. If you're having some work done, contractors. People will notice and they'll ask, who's the artist? And you'll say very humbly, well, I am. And that's really going to help your self-confidence because you're much better than you think you are. And who knows, you might get another recruit, you might get another artist who, a budding artist who wants to try it. So, promote your art. Now, I'm going to just show you this. Can you see this? Yeah, we can see that. So, you can see the blend. I'm going to try to blend a lot of colors. So, I'm going to start with some yellows and then go to some greens and then do a little bit more red. And spread the screen out a little bit. So you always want to go from light to dark with these colored pencils. We're going to start with a nice, again, circular motion, which will eliminate the hard lines. I got to see this because it's reflecting. And we're going to do 3 or 4 coats. This is where the music comes in because this can get kind of boring doing the same thing over and over again. But again, if you just practice a few times a week, I know that this, well, look at that. Make me a liar. Broke the tip. I think this program will be broadcast a few times during the week, and you can see it on the calendar if you just go on to WCAT. They'll have the program scheduling. So if you miss it the first time, there'll be other times. Just check the scheduling. We're going to try to do this in an hour. I don't think it's really a difficult thing to do. But if you can't do it in an hour, just look at it again and just take your time. The most important thing is taking your time. And if you only do a little bit and you have to do something else, just leave it alone and come back to it. A lot of artists will work for a little bit and then get away from it. Might come back to it later in the day or later in the week or in the next week. Because it takes a lot of concentration, and it's good to get a different perspective when you're drawing, to get up and walk around and look at it again. See where these veins are? I'm just going to kind of move the yellow up. There's something that's really bothering me, and I'm going to see if I can blend this out a little bit. I put too much red in there, and the contrast is a little bit difficult. If you erase, you can always, you can see where the lines are, so it isn't so bad. I think that contrast is a little bit too bright, so I want to mute it with an eraser. Even though I'm not a painter, I use brushes. Okay. I'm going to spread that green out a little bit. I'll try another green if I can. This is a little bit brighter, but let's see what happens. I'm going to go over the yellow. Again, the circular motion, so you won't see any lines. Circular is much more organic. This is a different shade of green, which is okay to use because in nature there's so much subtlety in color. And again, we have the lighter color yellow followed by a darker color green. You can build up, but you need to have the lighter color as the base. So I'm going to try to make this kind of gradual. And if I don't think this is working, I'll go over it with yellow again, which I can do. Takes a while, but then it starts to, you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to go back to some yellow. I have a habit of sharpening my pencil. I just, you go through pencils a little bit quicker, but I think you get the effect. You know, the blending is your own eye. It's what you see, and if you make a mistake, it's okay. We still have the training wheels on the bike. I think this is going to be okay. Take a little bit. Again, you can spread that yellow out as much as you want. We're going to try to use all of the 3 or 4 colors that I mentioned, the yellow, orange, red, green, in this particular drawing, because I think that's what I did in the original drawing I did. going to use a little bit more pressure on these tips with yellow to kind of subdue the red. Well, the other thing I should mention is you can use a white pencil as a blender because there's no pigment in the white pencil, so you can blend colors and the white won't show up. It's good you get a sharper point on this. They're better than the regular blenders if you want to do a lot of detail work. Let's see, we're about a half hour in. I think we'll finish this. If we don't, it's next week. So with this white pencil, I've blended these tips so the red is not as glaring or obvious. I think I made it a little bit too much, although on this picture, if you can see, there's a lot of red there. Let's see, the next thing we're going to do is, we're going to do a little bit more yellow as we go along here. My problem is I don't put the pencils in the right place, and I sometimes grab the wrong pencil. So, as you can see, I'm not the most organized person in the world. Again, you don't have to sharpen your pencils all the time. I'm going to use a little bit deeper yellow. Again, light pressure, holding. It's something that you're going to have to get used to, is holding the pencil at the end. You can cover a lot more ground and you're not going to hurt your fingers. You know how you get that writer's cramp? You'll get arm cramp now, I guess. I can see a nice blend forming with the layering. That's why just drawing with a light pressure becomes more natural. It looks more natural. There's not a lot of hard lines to it. It's really good to have a live object, because I think I drew that from a leaf I picked up last year. And what I did was I taped the leaf to the paper and I just did the outline, because that's really a pretty accurate outline. So then you can use this as a reference. That's a photo reference. But it's really difficult to draw from your memory because we don't remember all the details. And most artists will either draw from live references or from photo references. So I don't think your brain can remember all the particulars unless you've been doing it for a long time. So I'm just going to move this yellow further up. Again, circular motions, light pressure. It's really important to do this technique because, again, this will eliminate the lines. Once you do the circular motion and you're covering most of the white paper, when you blend, you'll get all the paper. So there's no white, there's just the color. You can go all the way out to a tip if you want. It's how you feel about it. It's what you want to experiment with. But it's nice to get that gradual color transition so it doesn't look so sharp. Because once you get a leaf and take a look at it, it's really subtle, the color changes. And there's no particular pattern for how the color works. You could get 10 leaves from the same tree, and they would be different. Same leaf, same tree, same time of year. The color pattern is never the same. Okay, I hope you can start seeing this transition from green into light green into yellow. Again, I'm putting a little bit more pressure, but not really hard. I like to just draw a little bit of it at a time so I can see the progress. Now I'll take a blender. What did I do with the blender I had? Okay, here's a nice blender. Again, you don't have to hold the blender down at the tip like you're writing. You can just hold it at the end. Circular motion. These colors will start to blend together and they'll come up with a different color. Kind of a lime green. And when you're blending, the pigment will fill in all the yellow, all the white on the paper. Now I don't know if you can see it that well, but it's going from green to lighter green to yellow. So it's becoming more natural looking as we go along. Again, the reason I want to use all the colors that we see in the fall, because, you know, there are some leaves that are really muted. They just don't have that vibrancy. But I think if you're going to do a drawing, this is just me, I like the vibrancy because the colors are spectacular. And it's really a challenge to get something that looks like this, because you're using all the colors. I'll go over these tips a few times just to get them to where I like them. Because it's a little bit, there's no contrast, there's no blend yet. But what I'm going to do in a minute is just move this yellow. I'm going to go over part of this yellow with red, which will probably give us an orange. And then I'm going to go over another part of it with orange. We'll see what happens. I can leave the vein system in with the graphite pencil. I don't really have to erase those because they'll be kind of buried under the color, but you should be able to see them still. I'm happy with the progress so far. Again, circular motion. Again, you're going to determine the colors that you want to use and how the blending works. But the one key technique is always go from light to darker. Just a better way to blend. So it would be yellow, orange, red. But I contradict myself because I did green here. And then I put a little yellow over it. That would be probably the exception. It doesn't happen very often. Putting a little bit more pressure here because I want to get that nice transition. But I'm still doing that circular motion. Now we're about 35 minutes in. About another 15 minutes. I mean, we don't have to finish this right now, but I want to get as much as I can done for you to see. Circular motion. Hold the pencil as comfortable as you feel it is. If you have to hold it like this, then do that. But if you move it back, you get much more of a broader motion, wider range of motion. And you're not going to have your fingers hurting at the end of it like you would when you have that writer's cramp, I think. I think that's what it's called. There's a lot of detail to this drawing, and I've done it many times before, but it's always about an hour for me, even when I'm teaching, because I don't draw any faster when I'm just doing this, listening to music. Once I get most of the area covered, I'm going to go back and erase some of the graphite. That's I did when I surrounded everything. Now the symmetry of this leaf will be not of that leaf. This is much better. All right, let's see. I have two different shades of orange. I have dark orange and light orange. So I'm going to start with a regular orange here. One side I'm going to put light orange, then I'm going to try red on the other side of the main stem, just to see how it looks. I'm not going to put a lot of pigment down, but just as a demonstration, I'll show you how the colors work. Again, you know, the colors in nature are random. They're not, it's not like paint by number. You can do any way that you want. I mean, you don't even have to use these colors. You can use whatever colors you want. But these are the colors that I see in nature, in foliage for sugar maple leaves at this time of year. I might suggest that if you all have cards at the Winthrop Public Library, that there are some wonderful books on colored pencil drawing. You can just ask anyone at the front desk, and they will direct you to where those books are. There's a lot of great drawing books up there too, and if you want to learn the basics of graphite, which is black and white pencil drawing, there are wonderful books there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go back and teach there, but there's a book, and I can't remember the title of it, but the people at the front desk would know. There's a book that I ordered, and they have it there. It's really, really a good book. Okay, now on the other side, I'm going to use this carmine red. There's a lot of different reds that I have. Let me see what else we have here. Any color red you can use, any color if you want. It doesn't have to be one particular color. Again, on this side, circular motion, light pressure. Now this combination of red and yellow should render kind of an orangey thing. I think that's what happens, if I can remember correctly. And you can move it into the other side if you'd like. Again, when you're just starting out, light pressure, when you're layering, and I'm going to burnish, which means blending, burnishing. Nine minutes left, no pressure. I've taken some of the drawings that I showed you. I'll lay them out again. These drawings that I did last year, I have a printer who's going to make cards out of them. Just fall cards, Thanksgiving cards, Christmas cards. It's not exactly Hallmark quality, but it's original art. And I'm going to see what happens with them, whether I can market them to the hotels or not. I'm not sure. But you won't know unless you try. Okay, now I'm going to just take an eraser, and I always do this. I'm just going to try to erase some of the graphite lines that I put on. It's probably be a lot better if I just did it. I drew the lines in the regular colors that I'm going to use, but I'm not that smart. I like to use erasers. Where's my brush? I know I had a brush here. There it is. So it doesn't matter if you erase and you miss a line or something like that. It doesn't really matter. But I think it looks a lot better without the basic design line that you use. I think the veins are going to be okay. The symmetry on this is much better than this, but that's okay. This is not going to be for sale. Now, let's see. Now, let's take a blender. I've got a blender that's got some red on it, some orange on it. So I'm just going to blend up. I'm using a little bit of more pressure just in the interest of time. But, you know, I'm still holding it at the end. Now, this is red over the yellow. It should kind of show up as a little bit of orangey. And that's orange. Again, you can experiment with the colors, whatever you'd like to do. But the whole idea is layering and blending. Blending is also burnishing. It means just polishing. So these colors will blend together and they'll fill in the white of the paper. I'm going to go over this. We might go a few minutes over because I'm so close to finishing this. I just hope you can see it all. I think you can. Now that's pretty light, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over this once again, the yellow, and I'm going to build it up a little bit more because I'm looking at this And that's pretty vibrant. I really want to see if I can get that. Again, there's no hurry. If we go over, we go over just a little bit. So as I'm doing this, I just want to let you know that if you go online and just Google colored pencil supplies, you know where you can get them is Amazon. I think they have pretty good prices. And there's all kind of different names. Blick is a local company. They have stores right by Symphony Hall, and there's one in Central Square in Cambridge. But I'd go to Target, see what they have. But I definitely go online. I think you probably get the best prices online. Sometimes I think it's Amazon. You'll get free shipping if you purchase $25 or more, which you could do with this. I mean, $25 is going to go a long way if you're drawing. And it's really important, don't buy cheap paper. You know, like copying paper. It doesn't work. This paper has what is called tooth, which means that there are a lot of, like Thomas's English muffins, a lot of nooks and crannies. So it absorbs a lot more color. And the colors look a lot better with this type of paper. It's just drawing paper, colored drawing paper. And again, it has something called tooth. And if you just Google colored paper, pencil colored drawing paper, and it'll explain what tooth is all about. Now, you're starting to see this, sorry, let me just shut this phone off. One of my senior friends is wanting my advice in technology, and I'm so low tech. But a lot of my seniors are worse than I am. Some of them are just learning how to use ATMs. That's okay. We were brought up with black and white television and 3 stations, and the televisions went off at 11 o'clock. There was a test pattern. So life has changed. Do you know, it would be great if you could contact the station just to let them know that you're drawing along with us. And if you have any suggestions or ideas or any questions, you can contact the station. I'll get the information. Or, I don't want to give out my telephone number, but you can email me at, get a pen and write this down. You can write it down right on your drawing paper. My email is Gerard, lowercase letters, Gerard, 16, 16, the number 16, Golden, Golden, drive, DRIVE, @gmail. So please, I encourage you to let us know that you're watching. And if you have any questions, you can either call the station or you can email me, and I'll definitely respond to you. And I really like suggestions. If you have any subject you like, or if you have any questions about the material, just give me a shout, and we'll respond to you. So we're at 50 minutes, and there's 60 minutes in an hour. We have 10 minutes, I think. So we're getting a nice blend of colors. It's not exactly the same as what I did last year, but it's okay. Again, I'm trying to mute out the harsh red. I use a little bit of orange in the next. See, I'm reverting back to the see, when I hurry, I get away from circular drawing. But I hope you're getting the idea. I hope you've learned something. And I may go over this again next week, and then we'll probably move on to the apple or the pumpkin. I'm not really sure. We've got some really nice typical colors for the fall. And then I have a cornucopia for Thanksgiving. I just didn't bring it today. Cornucopia is the horn of plenty, and it has all the vegetables and fruit coming out of it. You'll see it on Hallmark cards at Thanksgiving. I don't know if there's a lot of just foliage or fall cards. My cards have no message. There's whatever you want to write in it. I just have it signed on the bottom with my name and the date and the price. This is $1,500, this is $2,500, and this is $3,000. This, if you buy 3, you get this. I'm kidding. This is good. We're going to wind up. We have 8 minutes left. I just wanted to see if I can get a dent in this first class. I'm not too happy with how the form looks, but I'm pretty happy with the color. This could be a little bit better blended on the green, but that's okay. Sometimes you can't see the forest between the trees. I'm going to go darker orange. If you don't wear glasses now, you will be wearing glasses after you do this for about 10 years. Okay, let's see what happens here. Now this is a darker orange. So I'm going to try to complete this in 5 minutes. And we'll see what the difference looks like. I think the colors are pretty vibrant. There's a whole lot of pigment that we laid down because we wanted to get the sense of how subtle the colors are and how the colors work together. Okay, let's see what else. White pencil. Now I'm bearing down a little bit in the interest of time. I just want to get these colors as blended as best I can. Again, larger circular motions. My suggestion is, I would say in the next week or so, you should be able to get some colored leaves. If you pick a couple of them, you can put them in your freezer. Sometimes that preserves the color for a few days. It'd be good to take a picture with your cell phone of the leaves with a white background. So now you have a photo reference, because the leaves are delicate and the colors change pretty quickly. I don't think we're going to get a lot of great color this week, but you never know. I'm going to start looking at trees, and if I get any foliage walking around, I'm going to bring them in next week. 5 minutes. You know, I'm trying to figure out whether I used, like, you can use baby oil with a Q-tip and just a little bit of baby oil. I don't have it with me, but I'll bring it in next week. And what that does is liquefy the pigment, so that kind of looks like paint. And I'm trying to remember, I think that's what I did. So it's much more liquidy, and the effect is much better than this. I'm almost certain that's what I did. So that's Q-tips and just regular baby oil. A small bottle at CVS or Walgreens. And give it a shot. Just try it. But don't saturate the Q-tip. Just a little bit. I use Q-tips or even paper towels. Just bunch them up. And they'll absorb liquid, and they'll absorb the pigment. Okay, that's okay. I'm just going to do a little bit more blending, and I think we're going to call it a day. Again, I'm really putting a lot of pressure on right now just because I have 2.5 minutes left, and I just want to talk with you for a bit about what we've done. I'm pretty happy with the color. I'm not so happy with the form of the leaf. I could have done a lot better. That's about it. I'm lefty. Today is 9/16, I think. And it's 21. So that's it. That's what it looks like. It's not the same, but I'm pretty sure I used baby oil on that. So what I want to say is just when you go to get some baby oil and some Q-tips at CVS or Walgreens, go online, and if you Google colored pencil supplies, it'll give you a list of types of pencils. There's 5 or 6 different manufacturers. Pencils, sharpeners, burnishers, these buffers. Where did I have them? These things here. Paper. You want to buy colored pencil paper. Again, it's the whole thing about the tooth, that it has nooks and crannies and it'll hold the pigment a lot better. I have one of these bags and put everything in. These are great to carry around in. I have a canvas bag that I got the other day. This form, it really looks horrible compared to this. But that's where you really have to have a strong photo reference. I had this picture. I don't know what I was thinking about. This looks like a pagoda. So that's it. That's it for Drawing with Gerard. We'll be on YouTube. And if you check the schedule on WCAT, it'll have the programming schedule. And it'll probably be up sometime next week. Thanks. We'll see you again next week.